Ivan Mazalov is a director and portfolio strategist at Prosperity Capital Management in Moscow. He oversees some $4.5 billion in assets. He joins us now. And so we're seeing perhaps a hint of some positive sentiment on the markets right now, Mr. Mazalov. But nevertheless, how would you describe the general attitude, general sentiment on the ground to this result? I mean, we're talking about quite a difference here. I mean, the last time we had an election in 2007, United Russia won 64% of the vote. This time, less than half.
Hello. Yeah, well, you're quite right. The tendency is clear. There are more discontent people who are not happy with the pace of change. But overall, I think one has to agree with what government officials and Mr. Putin and his colleagues said. The ruling party will have a very slim majority, a simple majority in the parliament after overall calculation and deduction of the votes of the parties which didn't make it to the parliament. And, you know, they will be able to adopt legislation in accordance with the government. And I guess it also continues to lay foundation for a very smooth or relatively smooth election of Mr. Putin as the next Russia's president.
Mr. Mazalov, the result of this vote, that the lack of support or lessening support for Vladimir Putin, many analysts are saying this means that we could see more government spending before Vladimir Putin runs for the presidency. Are you concerned about what this could mean for debt levels and also inflation?
Well, if you put the question this way, there is a concern, but I wouldn't overemphasize it because the bulk of the spending has to fall before the election rather than after it. I mean, the way politicians work, they you know, try to demonstrate their future behavior just before they're getting elected. So I would think that after this year, the more pragmatic approach is more likely, actually. And if you look at this year, Russia is actually running a budget surplus of 3%. So I don't think we're near the danger zone.
I mean, obviously, great potential, great opportunity in a country like Russia. But I'm just wondering about the obstacles to greater foreign investment, corruption, and then also, you know, you've got concern about general corporate governance practices. Has there been any improvement in the situation?
You're quite right. Corruption is a major talking point right now, and it's admitted by everyone, including Mr. Medvedev, the president of the country, who even comes up with estimates of gross total of corruption in the country. And this is what primarily drives the opposition votes. I think that this feedback is very well understood by the government, and President Putin will have to, or President Medvedev and the subsequent president will have to tackle it somehow to show both to investors and to Russian population that this isn't getting out of control completely.
Mr. Mazalov, you oversee some $4.5 billion in assets. What are your concerns as a fund manager, as an investor? What would you like to see?
Well, it goes in line with what I've been saying and what you asked. We would like to see corporate governance improvements in Russian companies. And I think that the worst companies in this regard, quite expectedly, quite naturally, are the state-run companies. And the improvement, the change is fairly easy to effect because they're so much top-driven. So the government already has started to put visible pressure on the companies like Gazprom and Transneft in order to cut down on inefficient capex, capital expenditures, and increase dividend payouts to all shareholders and primarily to the state. And we've seen very good reception by the markets, by the investors lately of these recent moves. And both companies' shares have performed very strongly recently.
All right.
So we would like to see more of the same.